Well, welcome everyone to another episode of All Things Wonga Health and Fitness. I'm with head personal trainer and business owner Max Naylor. Max and I have had the privilege or the pain of working together over a long time now. It's probably been 12 years.
Probably been, yeah, absolutely.
And Max has really helped me significantly achieve a whole lot of outcomes and results in my health and fitness. And Max, for everyone that's watching and on their own exercise, health and fitness journey, what's been sort of the biggest issue in helping people achieve their goals and the things that they're aiming for as part of their health and fitness?
It's a good question, Corey, because it's probably one of the things that at a starting point, the majority of us need to focus on and not lose focus of. So the number one component, the number one barrier that I find as a coach and all of our instructors here find as a coach, we're fighting this barrier of entry when somebody's starting out, that they perhaps need to just focus on developing a routine. So the answer, the really short answer to that very question is adherence. Yep. Their ability to adhere to some sort of consistency over time, because whether they've got their nutrition or their exercise or their water intake or whatever regime that what they want to play into, they're going to naturally, quite instinctively and innately, because our body has this amazing ability to adapt, they will just fall into that and achieve that very thing at that starting level. So focusing on just being consistent with it, whether it's 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week, slowly building that trajectory towards that better healthy lifestyle that they're after, is that main starting point. So for us here at Wonga Fitness, it's really just allowing people that ability to go through that journey. We've set up trials where people can start that process, really understand what it is that they want to get from their health and fitness, set those goals, and be exposed to all the things that they can possibly do. And then they can make the choice after they've finished their trial, which direction that they want to go. So that quite incidentally and innately, you make the informed decision that's best in line with what you can achieve, versus rather than setting yourself up with something that's not sustainable.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the challenge, isn't it? Is that when we identify a goal or a dream for our future self when it comes to health and fitness, often we set the target way too high. And it's great to have great goals and great dreams of what you want to achieve in your own physical health and fitness. It's so important. Our well-being is so important. I think right now the wellness industry is like the second fastest growing industry globally behind tech.
It's incredible.
So there's something like $3 trillion spent a year on wellness. And so I think, but it's helping people understand, as important as that dream or goal is sustaining the motivation in those early weeks and months, because it takes longer than what you want. We all want to look amazing and $1 million overnight, but it takes longer. So how have you helped clients sustain motivation beyond just the first 2, 3, 4 weeks?
So from us, motivation's a funny thing, because unfortunately the motivation doesn't come until after or during the workout that you get that motivational kick and you go, oh, okay, I got this. I want to keep going.
Endorphins are released.
And exactly, that natural response that your body's going to have. You start feeling all the feels, and away you go. Unfortunately, when you're waking up in the morning, you next day, the next day, or that morning of that you've got your training session on, and perhaps not feeling like, oh yeah, I'm going to go and do a workout today. Yeah, let's do it. We don't all have those days. Some days you do, some days you don't. The majority of the time, the majority of the people don't have those days.
Correct.
So you've got to tap into the fact that you're building a habit, and the level that you hit it is your own individual level, and it's what you feel like in the day. For men, it's different. For women, women have things like menstrual cycles and stuff like that to think about. Men, we have a different motivational and stress. That's a
meltdowns.
So we have different stresses and stuff like that. But us as habitual creatures, we've really got to tap in and meet ourselves at that starting point, which is realizing that yes, we've got to develop those habits. And okay, if it's a Monday that I'm going to do every week, so be it. It takes 21 days to develop a habit. So again, I talk about trials. I talk about the way the natural flow on to a person becoming a member here. All of this membership process that we set up for everybody is actually as a result of realizing habitual process and developing that, setting people up to succeed in the realization and developing that habit to then become healthy, fit and strong to where they want to be.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of work on this subject of habits. You think of the book Atomic Habits. I've been reading a book recently by two authors speaking about the impact of habits on our performance. And all the experts say that you've got to begin by establishing micro habits. Yeah. So, for some people it could be as simple as getting up and making your bed and brushing your teeth and doing that. All those things seem really simple for an everyday functional person, but it's amazing the compounding impact of habits, micro habits, particularly as it relates to health and fitness. It could be making sure that you've got your gym gear or your running gear out the night before on your chair in your bedroom or out in the lounge or whatever it is, and it's already ready to go. So when you wake up, it's like you immediately go to that and then begin your workout or whatever it is. It could be go down and hydrate 3 glasses of water in the morning. I don't know what it is, but have you found that really helpful in terms of just those micro habits towards the bigger goal? And you're 100%
on the point there. What we call that in the industry when it comes to habit development is you might refer to it as habit stacking or looking for habit triggers, where you can piggyback a habit. So again, that's habit stacking or piggybacking, whichever way you want to look at it, I don't care. But the fact is, you're looking for that, whether it's, I'll brush my teeth and then put my gym gear at the door so that I'm ready to go, or, wherever it needs to be to, encourage me to be in a better position to go and remember that, I put my bag at that door, so I've got to get to the gym. And that's that. There's no setting yourself up with things like non-negotiable standards for yourself, because that's who you want to be. And to have that person, to be that person, you've got to set up those standards for yourself.
100%.
So having that understanding about piggybacking or habit stacking, and it could be as simple as putting on your watch and then having your drink of water. Have your breakfast, have a drink of water with your breakfast.
And I think that's where it's got to begin. Like I know for me, I've got a routine. Routines are so important, and my routine in the morning actually helps set me up psychologically to be able to embrace the workout or do the workout. Now, you might not be a morning person or work out in the morning. You might work out in the afternoons after work or early evenings, whatever works. We're all different. Some people work out in the middle of the night. It's all different, but you've got to find what's that routine. For me, it's get up, have a shower, because I have a shower straight away to wake me up. I know that if I don't have a shower straight away, I'm lethargic, I'm sleepy. So I immediately wake up, I put on my workout gear, I head downstairs, I go to the kitchen, I hydrate, I drink coffee, I maybe have pre-workout or protein powder, whatever it is, and then I'm ready to go. I've got my gear, if I'm riding on the bike, I've got my cycling gear all set up. So there's this automated sort of process, and because I've been doing that now for so many years, it's just ingrained. And so I have absolutely those days like you do, where we wake up and it's not, I'm so excited about it being Monday. It's like, good Lord, it's Monday.
No, Jig's got to go see Max.
I've thought that a few times.
Because I want to put thoughts in your head a lot.
But because I'm in that rhythm and routine, it's just like, okay, just click on. And I think for all of us, whatever your goal is, whether it's to lose a few extra kilos, whether it's to run a marathon, whether it's whatever it is, that's awesome. Keep that as your goal, your vision, but set those micro habits and routines and just rinse and repeat every single day, whether you feel like it or not, and work towards the goal.
100%. So having the understanding that it doesn't need to be perfect.
Yeah. None of us are.
No, we're not perfect people, not by any stretch of the imagination, but the fact is, it just needs to be something that's, in some way, shape or form better for us than it was the day before.
Yeah.
Whether it's by 1% or 10% or whatever that looks like. Setting that up, and then over time, you're giving yourself a little bit of a chance to evolve that.
Yeah.
Based on whether it's something that one of the coaches here is giving you some perhaps think about this, perhaps think about that, perhaps think about introducing this into your day, and then refine that. It's a process to improvement. It starts with unconscious incompetence.
Yeah.
Then it becomes unconscious competence, and then it becomes conscious competence, and then it becomes unconscious competence. So that's the process that we all learn.
Yeah.
So whether it's as a child or whether it's as an adult, it's still the same process.
Yeah.
We just need to allow it to happen. And I think that we forget that, and we have this want to be able to do it straight away like that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we're just not those. We're not that creature.
Totally. And I think also what I've benefited from, personally, I've qualified personal trainer. I've been involved in, elite sport for many years, particularly as a youngster.
Yeah.
But I also have learnt to rely upon your expertise and the expertise of others. And I think what can often happen is that people get it in their head, I just want to do this, I just want to do that, and they take shortcuts and they don't lean into the expertise or the knowledge base of the health professionals around them. And I've even, sometimes we've had differences of opinion and perspective on things, but
especially
I've gone,
the amount of push-ups that we do.
but I've gone, hey, I'm going to trust my trainer that they've got a perspective in mind I don't have. And whilst you're open, and I think most reasonable trainers are open to feedback and discussion, but I think I'd say to people, lean into your trainer, lean into your coach and their expertise, and follow the process. Trust the process.
You've got to allow yourself. Sometimes when you're in the thick of it, especially when you're training for an event like High Rocks or anything that you want to achieve, as you go through the way, it seems all good and you make some big changes and it's great. But then as you get closer to the goal, those changes become less significant. Like say, for example, somebody who's got a lot of weight to lose, they've got a lot of weight to lose. So the shift towards that weight loss is greater in the beginning and then regresses as they get closer to their goal weight. So allowing that process to improve and going through that trajectory is one of the most important realizations that I think that we all need to go on. But understanding that as you're leaning into your coach or whoever it is, that everybody has your best interests at heart. They're perhaps seeing the forest from the trees. They're seeing the big picture, and they're seeing all the little bits and bobs that they've got to put together to make that forest happen for you. They've got to find the path through the trees, but a lot of the time, the guiding light of the sunshine coming through those trees is the feedback from the person experiencing that in the moment, right then and there, saying, "Oh, my calf muscle's sore, my hamstring sore, my knees are sore." Okay, we adapt and we move on a different, slightly. It's still the same direction. You just slightly adapt.
And you're tweaking it.
And you're tweaking it constantly so that the person can maintain some sort of healthy trajectory towards that health and fitness goal. Whether it's, a lunge because, hey, I've got to do 30 kilograms on the bar and, doing lunges for High Rocks, or whether it's just, I just want to do a half range lunge today because my knees can't go beyond that range of motion.
And we've been there.
Yeah, so that range of motion is the process to improvement. Whether it's with a heavy weight or whether it's just increasing or improving the range of motion through the knee joint, the shoulder joint, the hip joint, whatever that looks like, over time it will improve. So you've got to appreciate you've developed a habit over a long period of time.
Yeah.
Your body's adapted to that habit.
That's it.
Taking you to that range of motion, to that point, whether it's your fitness, whether it's your range of motion, whatever that is,
Yeah.
your body's adapted to that. Okay, now you've got to make it that
Unlearn it. You've got to unlearn it.
And you've got to force the adaptation to happen, but not force it beyond a point that you can't return from it as a result of an injury or chronic fatigue or an overworked muscle.
Yeah, and that's where the metaphor of the forest and analogy there is really good. I think I use this idea of sometimes we on our fitness journey, we're looking through a keyhole, but the trainer sees the whole door. And we see finitely, whereas the trainer actually sees the holistically and the big picture, and they understand, well, if we go too hard here, then we're going to suffer in the big picture.
That's right.
And I think, trusting the process, listening to your trainer, setting up those micro habits and those routines really will give you the best chance of getting closer to your goal than just following a fad. Maybe let's talk about dieting and nutrition for a moment.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
Often there's just so many different diets and fads out there, and I feel for people that are just caught up in, this is the next latest thing. They're only going to eat soup, or they're only going to eat oranges, or whatever they're going to eat.
The shiny things.
So let's talk nutrition. What are some of the thoughts consistent with what we've been saying that you think are really helpful for people?
Well, the biggest consistency I see is whether you've got whatever that protocol looks like, whether it's a keto, whether it's low carb, whether it's high protein, whether it's vegan, whatever that looks like. Eating whole foods, eating something that's been hunted, picked, plucked, gathered. All of that sort of stuff that's natural, that we would naturally found, that hasn't been stuffed around with by man.
Processed
foods, avoiding that, which is what quite commonly we're seeing across the board. And you'll see, whatever research anybody's doing out there, you'll see the same message that's been spoken about, is making sure that you're keeping the processed foods at a minimal, because what that encourages is a lot of inflammation. And
big time.
Too much salt. These things, the amount of salt that we end up by eating at the end of the day, as a result of just eating the processed foods, is in abundance of what we actually need. And it's kind of almost irrelevant how much we need. Just as long as if we just naturally cut back on the amount of processed foods that we're eating, you're going to see a difference, a natural, organic difference, and your body's going to respond innately, quite organically, and you're not necessarily going to feel the plateaus, the highs and lows of what we experience from those sugary foods and that sort of thing. You get that, woohoo, I'm ready to go, and then crash, boom.
What about, really good advice, what about the timing of eating? Because, for some people, they're doing intermittent fasting and, 16-8 and all these different sort of concepts, essentially fasting for a period of time and then only eating for a period of time. Others are like every 2 to 3 hours they're eating, and I know for me, every sort of 3 hours I've found eating whole foods and healthy foods has helped increase my metabolism. But just talk about that. Is that relevant at all?
Especially not in the starting point. I again, to support the fact that we just need to develop a habit in the starting points, and just focus on what the real food looks like and making sure that that's what we're going through. I love the analogy of making sure that we stay out of the aisles and just eating in the fresh food area. Getting the meat, or if you're a meat, or your fruits and veggies and that sort of thing. I think a lot of people that I speak to across the board assimilate the carbohydrates to something that's refined, like pasta. They don't realise that, hey, there's a carbohydrate in an apple or a banana. And that may seem really funny to say, and they go, oh yeah, naturally. However, have we forgotten that? Because you're going to naturally get carbohydrates from, piece of capsicum and that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's going to be low GI, but that's probably all you need.
Yeah.
And because our energy system is, it should be a steady state of homeostasis.
Yeah.
The same as our recovery, our process is, the objective here is to improve our homeostasis level.
Yeah, totally.
So it's not to spike it and going off the that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
The point of exercise and that sort of thing is to be able to improve our homeostasis. So when we get back to that nice homeostasis level, it's nice and just even, And
so chocolate promotes homeostasis, right? So chocolate for breakfast, lunch and dinner is really helpful to all the chocolate lovers out there. We're not meaning to offend you, but it doesn't, the old Cadbury's every now and then doesn't seem to work too well with homeostasis.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to spike issue. So, but everything in moderation. Yeah, sorry, so moderation, but that's one of the key things here. What is moderation? A lot of people talk about, everything in moderation. Okay, what does moderation look like?
Chocolate only once a day.
So it's all relative to the person and the individual and what they can manage and all that sort of stuff. Obviously, you're not going to say that to a diabetic, but the fact is that the processed foods is something we want to try to avoid as much as possible, and unfortunately that might mean some chocolate. But hey, cacao is also something that's actually quite good.
Yeah.
It's a nice little antioxidant.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, if we go for the other, which is probably a little bit more processed, and that's not necessarily going to be as good for us.
Yeah.
Those carbohydrates that you're not necessarily using because perhaps you've eaten a bar of chocolate and sat at the desk for the rest of the day. That carbohydrate is readily available and needs to be burnt off like that. So you better get yourself moving because you've just ignited a fire in your body.
Yeah.
And if you haven't used that ignited fire, then what's it going to do? Yeah. Is it going to go through a process of becoming fats or whatever it is? Are you going to use that? How are you going to use that energy? And this is part of the process that a lot of people are forgetting is that, you're going to eat it, you're going to have to use it.
And that plays into the issue of our modern lifestyles. Our lifestyles are so sedentary. There are some jobs that are very physically demanding, manual labour, trades, different things, but by and large, a majority of the population has a very sedentary life. They're sitting at desks or sitting down for a lot of the day in meetings, etc. So the reality is, if we are eating those types of foods, we're unlikely to be active straight away.
That's it.
Unless we're in some sort of manual occupation. So we actually have got to be very strategic and intentional over time as we're setting our micro habits of, okay, and I like the idea of this 1% better every day. So what would 1% better with our health and nutrition look like next week versus this week?
It could be as easy as a banana.
Yeah.
It starts with a banana and then a banana and an apple.
Yeah.
Banana, apple, salad.
Yeah.
So week 1 you focus on a banana a day. Week 2 you focus on an apple a day, as well as a banana.
Yeah.
And then week 3 I'm going to introduce you to salads.
Yeah.
I'm going to start, just shopping from the fresh food.
Yeah, so it's habit stacking even in your nutrition.
Yeah.
You're doing it practically to get ready for a workout, you're doing it in your nutrition.
A lot of people are looking for one of the common denominators that I find, a lot of people are looking for that fast
100%.
grab. So what does that fast grab look like? If it's readily available in our bowl of fruit, then it's readily available. Maybe we've got some berries in the fridge and it's readily available. If it's there, it's there. Great, we can quickly grab that, have that there, buy that instead of the bag of chips.
Yeah.
Instead of, the chocolate.
No, it's true.
But this is part of that habit stacking and habit replacing as well. So if my habit is to go to the fridge and grab that bag of chips, replace that bag of chips with a bit of fruit, I've habit stacked.
Yeah.
That habit is to go from point A, go through okay, I've just got back, I've got an active job, I'm feeling hungry, I've just driven from the city to home, whatever that looks like, I'm really hungry now. My next part of my habit is to go to the fridge.
Yeah.
Okay, great, no dramas, I understand you. I'm hungry, I'm bloody hungry if I was you as well. So, okay, instead of having that block of chocolate in the fridge to grab, that block of chocolate is now a piece of fruit, or maybe it's a pre-made wrap or a roll or a salad or something like that that's going to give you some sustainable energy over the course of time. That's going to be your best option.
Yeah, really good. I think just changing tack a little bit, but still within this lane, is the rise of health and fitness influencers in social media, for example. And so many of us were connected to social media, and there's so many different sort of fitness concepts, ideas, and advice out there, and it just can become overwhelming and consuming. And often people are following the workout of the fitness influencer or the workout on social media without really being a part of a community like we have here at Wonga, and all the data, all the stats is in that basically you are going to achieve your goals far greater in health and fitness if you're a part of a community. And I understand some of those communities can be online, but more often than not, it's actually within our communities, like a Wonga Health and Fitness, which I would encourage everyone to come and sign up and find out more.
We did help.
But just talk about that and what you're seeing as some of the challenges of social media and people following the trend versus actually being a part of a community where you're a registered member and there's this accountability and consistency.
I think it's about the message. And one of the biggest challenges I find comes about is probably about the message. A lot of people give a part of the puzzle without giving the full puzzle, the full piece, the full picture about what that looks like. Because like I refer to a puzzle, nutrition is a piece of that puzzle.
Yeah.
Your push-ups, your squats,
your habits,
they're all a part of those same puzzle. Your puzzle being you.
Yeah.
So your hydration is a part of that puzzle. Your sleep is a part of that puzzle. You getting into the sauna, that's another part of the puzzle. Are you filling your head with some optimistic thinking?
Yeah.
That's another part of that.
Your mental health.
Because
big time.
If we are stressed, when we're filling our head with the things that, we can't do, mustn't do, this guy said that, this person always looks this good in this bloody leotard, whatever you want to call it. So, if we're filling our head with the wrong things and not optimistically thinking about the process to improvement, then we're going to be setting ourselves up, and we've got this constant barrier that we've got to try to overcome. That perhaps one day, we might get there. And unfortunately, as we get closer to that climb, it's going to feel like so much further away as a result of every step that we take being smaller and smaller and smaller. Because, like I said before, if you're perhaps carrying a bit of weight, the amount of weight that you lose is going to be a little bit more. But as you get closer to your goal weight, or that goal,
it's going to get harder.
It's going to get harder. So it's going to feel like it's getting harder. However, is it, or is it just there?
Yeah. And also I think with that is the danger of comparing yourself to someone online. Again, we look at a clip or a post, and this person may have been working out for 10 years and we've just started 3 months ago. And we're comparing and contrasting their journey with ours. It's not realistic. One
of the biggest challenges too, and it's great, thank you for that, because the fact is one of the biggest challenges that we face is the guys that we're comparing themselves have a full-time career in a gym.
Yeah, as a fitness influencer.
How is that setting up somebody to succeed with the person they're trying to influence?
And also, we're not wanting to question anyone's methodology or approach, but we also don't know what other helpful substances and medication they may have been taking. Let's just be honest, to contribute to that.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important. You might have a favorite fitness influencer that you follow. All good.
Inspirations are fantastic.
Absolutely, but I think you need to get a holistic approach, and I think everything we're talking about today is really about promoting that holistic approach to your health and fitness, and is one of the reasons why I've so valued, Max, your coaching and input, apart from your friendship and just encouragement of me as a human being. I think
I bounce off you too, right? I mean, I see your process to improvement and what you've gone on, what the journey is. Although probably wailing and gnashing at me, it's, I see, but I see the smiles afterwards, and I'm like, this is what it's about. This is that moment. That's that moment, and that feeling of gratitude, because I have that opportunity to work with people like yourself, whether they're doing a Hyrox event or whether they're starting on their first push-up ever, all of which is hugely valuable here at Wonga, because that's what we're about. Helping people achieve their goals on whatever that level looks like, because all of which is a process to improvement. That's it.
Absolutely. And I think on that note, we would just encourage everyone who's watching today to find out more about Wonga Health and Fitness Studio.
I'll drop some links in the bottom in the captions here.
There'll be some links. Max is our head personal trainer and just does a great job as business owner. You'll love the community down here, great bunch of people, and we really want to see you achieve your goals and flourish and thrive in your health and fitness. So we look forward to seeing you very soon.
Fantastic. Good job, mate. Thank you, mate. Outstanding.
Woo!